Welcome to another episode of Saturday Night Convos. My name's Ashley, and this is my cousin, confidant, and co-host,
Reagan. And here we like to discuss things that are going on in the world
and what's going on in our own lives.
Nothing is off the table here. So pull up a chair and join us for another Saturday night conversation.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Saturday Night Convos. We are here
Live. Not really live, but live for us.
Yeah.
And if you can, sorry. Okay, we're just going to do this right out of the gate, Ashley. If you can hear us, then that means that there was a successful transfer between podcasting platforms. Because let me tell you, the grass isn't always greener on the other side, Ashley.
That is very true. I can contest to that. So yeah, we've been playing around with our podcasting platforms, and that's where it's at. But I hope you can find us next week.
Well, everything is supposed to be up and running. See, okay. If you are a prospective podcaster and you are looking at platforms, we went from Launchpad, which is Podcast One, which is like a podcasting enterprise. They have a free platform that we can use, that we are using, called Launchpad. So that's where we started. And then I found Anchor, because the one thing I don't like about Launchpad is you have to put ads in. Not a huge fan.
Yes.
And so I saw Anchor, and Anchor is supposed to be really easy to use and all this. And it was really easy to use, and there's some cool features, like you can add music because it's like connected to Spotify, so you can do that without like any copyright issues and stuff.
Yes.
But when it comes to actually people, finding your podcast, it's not very good because you can't tag anything. And as we all know, tags are very important if you're podcasting or doing YouTube or whatever else you do creatively. So if that's important to you, steer clear of Anchor for now. Hopefully they fix it, because they do have like a good platform and they have really good customer service. But I just didn't like the fact that I wasn't able to tag episodes to increase our listenership, which, we want people to hear us. So
yes. And if you are listening to us, we thank you. Follow us on Instagram. Rate our episodes, like tell us what you like, what you're listening to, all of that good stuff. And we appreciate you.
Yeah, for sure. So now we're back on Launchpad, and we got our tags going, we got our everything going, we're up and running. So pass this around. Let people know you're listening to us.
Yeah,
and if you're just new, we have like 47, because this is episode 48. We have 47 other episodes that you can listen to if you have nothing to do with your time. And even if you have things to do with your time and you like having podcasts on in the background, well, maybe ours is like the perfect one, because we just go on and rant about whatever.
Which I can contest. Like, my best friend, literally, that is what she did when she was at work. She would literally just throw her earbuds on and literally just listen to us. So so we are a good podcast to just, you learn stuff. And
well, hey all right, so that has been on my mind for probably the last few hours, because I did it this afternoon after humming and hawing all week about it. Finally did it. Finally switched us back. So that's all I got, Ashley. I am like, mic drop, I'm out. You can carry the rest of the episode, okay?
But we're here.
My part's all that matters.
And you can find us. But yeah, that's Reagan's like, I'm like, what's new? And she's like, I switched us back. It's so funny. So for those that like don't know like our history, like one day like in during the start of COVID, we were just like shitting bricks and just like let's start a podcast, and then like Reagan held me to it, and then we're starting a podcast, and
Now we're
uh,
almost 50 episodes deep, Ashley.
but now we're almost 2 years in and we're still podcasting, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, eh? Like, I don't
Yeah,
know. I enjoy doing it. Enjoy
I do
talking
too.
with you, and I feel like this has become our little catch-up time,
Yes.
Yeah. Especially
Yeah,
with living like far apart, right? Like
it
this
is.
is like our time together weekly, and it's nice. And it's nice
Yes.
to be able to, connect with whoever's listening and, maybe bring them something new that they hadn't thought of before.
Hmm. Change your perspectives.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I think like if you don't, and it's funny because I brought this up to like so many people, like we should start a podcast. Like I was really like we should start a podcast, and then I brought it up to you and you like held me to it, but like everybody was like we're not starting a podcast. um but yeah.
Okay. What were your podcasting ideas when you originally were like talking to people? Because you live in the sticks. So what would you talk about with other people in the sticks if you were to start a podcast with them?
So I used to work at an like a nonprofit agency, and one of the ideas was like trying to like demyth what homelessness looked like.
Mm-hmm.
And we just kind of like bumped it around. And another one was just like you know what like carpool karaoke was?
Yeah.
Yeah, like literally just driving around. I was like, that would be so cool, but it's already being done multiple times. Multiple times. So then when we came up with like our idea, it was like, what are we gonna name it? I was like, Saturday Night Convos.
Well, there you go.
Because we have convos on Saturday nights. And then we were like, this is genius.
Yeah. It's been a wild ride, but it's been a good one.
It has been a wild ride. Yeah. So yeah. Welcome to Saturday Night Convos.
Episode 48. Hey, what are we doing for episode 50?
That is a very good question.
Like, I don't know if we should make episode 50 like a big bash or if we should wait till the 100th. Because I mean, it's taken us this long to get to 50. Mainly because we had such a big break between this time last year. But
true.
Like, do we make a big deal out of it or do we just keep going?
I feel like we should. 100%.
Maybe get some
that's in like
guests on to like congratulate us, have some like streamer noise maker.
That's in like 2 weeks. That's crazy.
I know. I think we'll have to do something for the 100th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll have to make a big deal out of the 100th.
Yes,
we
will see.
Yeah,
you guys wait.
You guys let us know what you think. Like, is 50 a big deal or do we wait till the 100th? I feel like we should wait till the 100th. But I mean,
I still think 50 is a big deal.
Oh, 50 is like, a big deal.
Even if we have taken breaks.
Yeah.
Like,
hey, we stuck with it.
Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah. So, yeah, just wait and see, guys. And if you're not following us on Instagram, it's at Saturday Night Convos. Pretty easy to remember. We'll update you. So yeah, I found this interesting story. It's kind of a little bit sad also. So unless you want to go into another area.
Well, no, I found an article on See, I'm bringing something to this conversation, actually, other than
I'm
what
so
I
happy.
provided. I did find something on the Royals and their Caribbean tour, but we can discuss that after.
Okay, so I think I know what you're talking about. But so what I found was basically a CNN article talking about the double standard of refugees. Um, so it's basically contrasting Syria and the refugee crisis that occurred like in the early to like 2010s, comparing it to Ukraine right now and how open Europe is, like the European countries and Canada and the US are to your Canada's are always pretty open to refugees, are to Ukrainian refugees compared to Syrians. So 2 million people have fled Ukraine since the start of the Russian-Ukraine war.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been what, a month?
Yeah, just 4 weeks this week.
4 weeks.
Yeah.
So in 2013, which when did the Syrian war start?
I thought it started
2011?
around 2015.
2015? Okay, well, the article said 2013.
Maybe it was, yeah, maybe.
So 2013, in like 6 months, it was like a 1 million people had gotten out of Syria. So that's a like wide, vast.
Sorry, say that again.
Here, I can read the actual. I will reread it if I can find it. But I know it was 2 million refugees out of Ukraine since the start of the Ukraine-Russian war. And then
Sorry to interrupt. Is the article entitled "The Gross Hypocrisy of the West Refuge Response"?
yes.
Okay, yeah, it's by Arwa Damon. So
the newscaster was basically just talking about how countries like Denmark, who typically aren't open, they have a very closed door immigration policy. They were open to Syrians, but now again they are open to Ukrainians, but they're asking Syrians who came in as refugees to go back to Syria. And when there were Syrians, I think there's only about 1 million Syrians in Europe who like fled to Europe. A lot of them went other places. The newscaster really put it as war is not about politics, it's about human beings and the coming together globally, and just the double standards of how refugees are being recognized.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's the article. I'll tag the article. It was really. There was also a video. It was really like when it comes down to it, kids are kids, and when kids are displaced because of war, they don't know the difference.
Right.
All they know is that they've lost their home.
Right.
They've lost everything that they've known.
Yeah. I'm thinking back, and I mean, the response to the refugees, right? There's a deeper rooted issue there, and the way countries have responded to the conflicts, right?
Yeah.
The Ukrainian conflict, it's closer to home, first of all, much closer to home for Western nations, right? It's right up against the Western Europe. It's right up against what we think of as democracy. And that primarily, I believe, is why NATO and Europe are acting so swiftly,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because if Ukraine falls to Putin, and there was a missile very close to the Polish border just yesterday,
Mm.
if anything goes over that border between Ukraine, Poland, Romania, Slovakia, even Finland, it's all hell. It's World War III.
Yeah.
So Western nations, they're fighting for democracy. They're fighting for what we know as today as life in the Western world.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of the intake of refugees in Europe, 100% it's different. Again, it's closer to home. These people are seen as being brothers and sisters, right? And I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's likely how it's viewed. The Syrian conflict, that happened when Islamophobia plays into that, racism plays into that, into how
yes, and I again, I want to be sensitive with that, but again, Canada is a very different. Again, we all,
and Canada did take in many
Syrian refugees
from Syria.
Yes.
But if we're talking in terms of Europe, there's a different response there because of perceived fear of the other. And in the article you're referencing,
I also watched the video, and the video went into a lot of detail, but I just think it's heart-wrenching that in 2022 we're still at that space where there's always going to be that fear of the other.
Well, and I mean, yeah. Sorry, in the article that you referenced, it says, I remember when German Chancellor Angela Merkel said her country would take in 1 million refugees. The refugees I was with in Hungary began weeping with joy, finally feeling welcome and no longer treated like unwanted garbage. But ultimately, as the months dragged on, Europe's bigger solution was to cut a deal with Turkey to close the migrant route, freezing those on the road in limbo. And so, yes, fear of the other, I would say, would be a major contributing factor to the way that refugees were perceived during that time. I would also say, right, because the Middle East, right, they were going up through the Mediterranean to, like, Europe was their only option, right? So that probably, they saw that as a problem because everybody was coming, right? It was as if it were again, I'm not saying it's right, I'm just saying that is likely how it was perceived. I've seen a lot of commentary on, I follow a couple different people on Instagram who are Muslim, and I've seen some commentary on from their perspective, and they're raising the same issues that we're discussing now, in the way that like the perception, right? I don't know. I would say if we're looking back at Syria and we're looking forward to what happened in Afghanistan this past summer, I would say the response was different. I would say, yes, Canada's response was lacking in it because we didn't get as many people out as we had said we would. And there are still a lot of people there under the Taliban rule. But I would also say that countries, from my perception anyways, from when I watch the news, and I watch a lot of CNN, so I get the American coverage. But countries did step up and we're taking people. So, I mean, would the response be the same today as it was 5 or 6 years ago? I think ISIS played a lot into that, right? The extremist view, that the media portrayal of that too plays into the fear of people, resulting in the fear of the other. So would it be different? Maybe. I hope so. But in the end, we're human.
Yeah.
And we only know what we know, and we're creatures of habit. And when we don't know, right, we become territorial, and kind of standoffish to things that we don't understand. Right. So yeah,
I think you said that really well.
thanks. And I mean, I'm guilty of it too. More so, I live in a city that is growing because people from a bigger city are moving here. And I want the people from the bigger city to go back to their bigger city and not move to our city and drive up our housing prices and all the rest. I actually want to kind of build a moat around the regions of the province. And I know it's not the same, right? But it's human instinct to kind of be fearful and standoffish of things we don't know. And I'm kind of fearful of growth and development in my city with lots of people moving here. Again, not the same thing, but
no, but in a way it kind of is, right? Like, I think that goes back to so much of conflict in this world is, right, Putin not wanting change. Right? Like, that to me is such a source of conflict, is one, not wanting change, two, not accepting change, right? Like, I think that is one of the roots of it.
Well, yeah, not wanting change, wanting to go back to the old days of the Soviet Union.
That and religion, like, and you know, we don't need to get into religion, but like, to me, that is, and the Middle East is, I feel like, in all honesty, is we don't, we just kind of accept, not, I don't want to say accept, but we expect that that's how the Middle East is because that's how it's been. There's always been conflict in the Middle East. There's always been some kind of conflict.
Yeah, absolutely. From the day it started, 100%.
Right?
639, 100%. I won't give you a history lesson, but yes.
No, it's okay. But like, the fact that Ukraine, where, you know, it's been relatively peaceful for the last, since 1991, you know, they've had their bumps and bruises, but you know, it's,
yeah, no, I think the response we're seeing right now is definitely just more to do with just it being a lot closer. Right. What's happening is it threatens our way of life here in Canada and in the United States even. Right? I mean, we're seeing it in our gas prices and our food bills. But if,
oh boy, people, when I had to pay $6.99 for gas, and like 6 years ago I paid $1.05, boy. And that's per liter, not per gallon.
Yeah, I know. But right, if we're dealing with that right now and Putin gets Ukraine and he keeps on going because they are comparing him to other leaders like Stalin and Hitler, if he keeps going, well, then we're in deep shit, right? And there's talk that China may be supporting Russia with stuff. So I think the response is mostly due to the protectionism, I don't know, but protecting our way of life at least.
Yeah. Good conversation.
Well, hey, that's what we're here for, right? Yeah. I don't have anything else to say on it, but
No, I think we bled that cow dry.
a very, very good picture, Ashley.
Thank you.
For the vegetarian, for those that don't know.
Pescatarian, but yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I referenced this a little earlier, but this is an article out of People. It says Prince William and Kate Middleton cancel first stop on Caribbean tour amid protests about colonialism. So the British monarchy cut ties with, I don't even know who it was. Wasn't Jamaica. Do you know who they cut ties with earlier?
Like recently?
Yeah. I might have been Trinidad and Tobago. Who did? Oh, Barbados. Barbados cut ties with the British monarchy.
They're like, no, thank you.
In November. And so now there is a protest in Belize over their tour. So it says the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge have planned to visit a cocoa farm in the foothills of the Maya Mountains in Belize on Sunday, but that has now been canceled after villagers staged a protest about colonialism and the use of a football field by the royals for landing their helicopter. Villagers in the Indian Creek were photographed on Friday with signs saying, Prince William, leave our land alone. The local people have reportedly been in a dispute with the conservation charity Flora and something international in the local state over the rights of 12,000 acres of land.
Wow.
Yeah. A royal source confirmed the visit had been canceled for sensitive issues involving the community in Indian Creek, and the couple will now visit a different location. So what do you think about that?
So that is land that belongs to Britain?
I don't. They just landed a helicopter on a football field. The bigger issue is colonialism. That's what they're protesting.
In all honesty, what I really don't understand is the Commonwealth. Like, that really confuses me. And I'm not trying to sound dumb, but really, what? Like, because Canada's a part of the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
Really, they do nothing. Like, let's be honest.
They don't, but they do in the same way.
No, not really.
Well, they're a figurehead, but I mean,
there you go. Figurehead. A figurehead does nothing.
Yes.
There is no way the 90, almost 7-year-old queen rules over a commonwealth of how many countries, Reagan?
Well, she does. She does.
She's a figurehead.
Yes, but she's still when the governor general, the last one, the scandalous one, whatever her name was, when that all went down, JT had a conversation with the queen, and the queen had input into what should happen. So, I mean,
in all honesty, I think we should we should no longer be part of the Commonwealth. What is it doing for us?
Well,
what?
I don't know. It's a lot more complicated than just getting rid of it, though. It's a lot.
Okay, well, maybe me and my trucker friends will go like protest. Um, but I just really like, I understood like colonialism, like how many, because India was part of the Commonwealth, no longer is.
India is, yeah.
Damn it, I thought they weren't.
I told you, Barbados cut ties.
No, but I thought India wasn't part.
No, India is still part of the Commonwealth.
But really, like it's just really like we're just, I don't know. I feel like it's a very, when you're in a very unhealthy relationship, I feel like that's what this is.
Well, you feel the same way that the early Americans felt during the American Revolution. So there you go.
Yes, there you go. I'm glad I have something in common with them. I thought they.
No, India is part of.
Oh, they joined the Commonwealth.
Yes.
Yeah, I really don't get the point of it. That's where I'm at.
Well, I mean, there's not really a point to it now, but
there you go.
No. It's a two-sided issue, though. It's a two-sided issue because while the monarchy is merely a figurehead, the institutions of the British Empire are what run in Canada. Think about Parliament.
Yes.
Think about our laws.
Yes, I know.
All under British that institution, that structure.
Mm-hmm.
So cutting ties with the Commonwealth means you are establishing your own country. Right?
Okay, but we as Canada are our own country.
Under British rule.
This is ridiculous. That's where I'm at. That is where I'm at with that. Like, I truly believe, as much as I think the United States is basically out to just prove something to everybody, and like, feel like they're the greatest, I feel like the Commonwealth thing needs to be done. Because there's so many countries in that Commonwealth that are struggling. And what is the Commonwealth doing for it? You're not answering, are you?
No, I'm not. Because as we've already established, the Commonwealth is a figurehead. However, it's more complicated than that. What do you think Canada would have to do to be able to cut ties with the British monarchy?
Call up Queen Elizabeth. I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. I have no idea what the process was when because the United States was only like what 13 was it wasn't the full 52.
The United States didn't, they started a war to cut ties. I mean,
look at them go.
Huh?
I have no idea. So we're always going to be part of the fucking Commonwealth?
Yes. Until they decide no more. Honestly, I know there's no point in it, but it just is. And it's one of those things that it just is. It is what it is. And, whatever. There's a lot of things in life that we just say whatever to, and it's one of them because it's really complicated. So let's just leave well enough alone and continue on with our lives. We've got bigger fish to fry. We've got high inflation. We've got gas prices. We've got homelessness up the fucking wazoo that I keep hearing about.
True. That is very true.
Bigger fish to fry than whether or not the queen is our figurehead.
I guess so.
Yeah. Yeah. And guess what? The people in England would probably be saying the same thing as you, Ashley. Although they are more patriot to the queen than you are.
I like the queen just fine. But in all honesty, right? Like when if you ask people who the queen is in Canada, most of them would probably not know her name, or if she was Elizabeth II. Like, I would probably say half of the people would not know that.
Okay.
Really? You think differently?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. They teach about it. They do. They teach about it.
Not really.
Yeah, they do. They do in high school history. Maybe not in elementary school, but they teach about it.
Okay. Let's agree to disagree on that one.
At the end of the day, it's just one of those complicated things. There is no right or wrong. I mean,
how did Barbados get like out of the Commonwealth?
I'm not sure, but I will tell you that there's a W5 documentary on this specific subject. If Canada should get rid of. And for those of you that live in another country, W5 is like 60 minutes or 20 minutes. And there was a poll that they showed, and a couple years ago, the majority of people felt like, the queen served a purpose that shouldn't get rid of, and a more recent poll has seen that number between those who think the queen should stay and that think the queen should go. That margin has shrunk quite a bit. So there are more people starting to believe that the monarchy serves no purpose and that it should be dissolved. But again, it's more complicated than simply just signing a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is not me having anything against Queen. I think she is a very lovely person. And like, in all honesty, like she is a trooper. Like she lived through like the life experience that woman has is phenomenal. So like, this is me being like, how about let's just end the Commonwealth when she is no longer here so we don't have Charles.
Okay, but is that the only reason why you want it to end? Because you don't want Charles as king?
I just see, in all honesty, I see no purpose to it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That is why.
Okay. Charles is just like the cherry on top for the reason.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Just checking. Just checking.
And like the colonial like part of it, that's right. Like if we want to really go back to it, that's been going on since Canada has started. Like Canada was founded.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And Belize, that's probably right. That's still going on. And the reason they rescheduled or whatever is because they don't want to publicize that. That is that's England. That's Britain. That is how they founded. That's the reason that's the reason they sent their explorers out, was to find resources, because it's such a small country. They don't have enough resources. They had to send their explorers out to find them.
Yes, and also to get land to compete in the race. Colonialism it's another one of those things. It is what it is.
That's another reason we need to get rid of the Commonwealth.
What? Colonialism?
Yes. It's just just continuing to.
But okay. Colonialism, colonialism is like the worst thing to happen today. And I get it. But it shaped the world as we know it, for good and bad. If we didn't have colonialism, Ashley, there would be no Canada.
Yes, and I do agree with that. But however, the world it's 2022. It's not 1796 or whatever year. I think it was whatever year Champlain came to Canada. Champlain was French, though. We're at a point where really do we need a figurehead? And the royals are now making other countries mad as well, due to their recent tour.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of gray area.
There's a lot of gray area.
There's a lot of gray area, especially in our 2022 mindset, where everything of the past is bad, right? Everything.
And I'm not saying everything of the past is bad. There's a lot of gray area in the past. Let's be honest on that one.
Yeah.
But we would not be where we are today without the past.
100%.
I'm just saying, progressively, how can we move forward? And I think the British sometimes have a very much like, we are where we are and we're going to stay where we are and nothing's ever going to change.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I'm like, progressively, how can we move forward? And I don't feel like the Governor General has much of a purpose. And that is that's my thought process. I'm allowed to have it. That's not like I'm going to walk up to the Governor General and tell her that. I do, however, think it is very progressive that it is a First Nation Governor General that was chosen. Or I will say that. I do not know her name off the top of my head. However, I think that is amazing. So good job, JT and Queen Elizabeth II. But other than that, like I think the fact that they chose someone who is First Nation, is trying to unify everybody, I like it. I really do. But other than that, nope.
Okay.
I'm really like giving my opinion on this because
I can see that, and I think that's a good place for us to end this. Then I'm cool with that. All right. Anything else you'd like to talk about?
I don't know.
I think you had something else, didn't you?
I was just thinking, like, I was writing down my list for today, and then I was just like, holy shit, it is almost a third of the way through 2022. That is crazy.
Yep. Gone is any hope that we thought 2022 would be a good year.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I feel you on that.
But it's crazy to think we're almost in April.
Pardon?
It's crazy to think that we're almost in April.
Yes. But no, I was just like, do like a mental check on like, whoa, we're like a third of the way through another year.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is crazy.
I know. What's even crazier is you'll be today's the 19th, you'll be 30 in a month.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Like to the day.
Plus a few days, but yes.
Crickets.
Yeah.
Crickets.
Yes, exactly. But no, that I think that was my biggest thing is it's just I think it's crazy how much time flies. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Crazy.
Crazy. And you know what? As we get older, it seems to just go by even faster.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I don't either. We're still just trying to figure this shit out.
No doubt. No.
I will say I have been watching your Instagram posts for your
Oh my god. Okay. We're Ashley, do you know how hard branding something is?
I'm gonna guess hard.
Yeah. I gotta start from like the beginning.
For what?
I gotta go back and start from the beginning.
Why?
It needs to be more personable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that what they told you?
Yeah. Apparent because I feel like I'm just giving, for those of you that don't know, I don't even know what to call it. I have created a website that the primary goal is just to be like a central resource for information on skin cancer and your risks and whatever else, and just have some helpful websites that you can find reliable information on is basically what it is. And I've started an Insta that will be restarted. And you know, like I believe in the stuff I was posting, right? And right, that was it. But I also felt like it was just doom and gloom. You know what I mean? Like it was just like, this is your risk. Right? But like, what's the hope? Right?
Yes.
Because I think the one, and this is with any cancer, right? Skin cancer has just become a lot more prevalent.
Yeah.
It's affected my life, and that's why I've picked it. But with cancer in general, if it's caught early, the chances are you're going to be fine.
Good. Yeah.
Right. And I've seen both extremes of that.
Yeah.
But what is the hope? Right? There is hope. Right. And
I think it's just sharing that because you've had that experience. Exactly. So I think it's just sharing that experience and then just bringing light to that.
Exactly. So yeah. So I am going back to the drawing board, which is fine, right? It's part of being a creator. It's hit and miss, right? You have to but I think to really get my message across, my experience, right? It needs to be more, I've been told it needs to be more personable.
Are you talking for the website too, or just the Insta?
I will probably rework some of the website too.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I might include, it's kind of hard because the platform I'm using isn't the most user friendly. Free. Well, kind of free. Yes. I pay for it through my Adobe, but it's free. So anyways, so keep an eye out. Maybe we'll do an episode on, or an episode on kind of what I've been up to with it. And a couple once I figure it out some more. But yeah, that's that. Yeah, it's really hard. It's a lot harder than you think it is to actually like create a brand and to right. Like it's one thing to throw something up, but
I
it's
think it's
another.
also like it's getting in there, right? It's deep.
Oh, 100%.
Especially yeah.
100%.
So
and you know what? The easy part for me is being like, this is your risk and this is what will happen. Like that's easy for me, right? This is what UVA rays are, and this is the like what they can do to you. The hard part for me is digging in the weeds and really getting into it and being like, this is how it's affected my life. And this is what I still deal with. Because I deal with it every day. I have a scar on my arm. And, from now until September, I will be, while I'm outside, worrying about whether or not I have sunscreen on, if I should put sunscreen on, if I'm wearing long sleeves, if my sleeves are pulled up, but I don't have sunscreen on. Am I protected? I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. That's what goes through my mind. And that's what gives me anxiety about doing this, is actually digging into my own weeds.
It's probably a little like, is it soothing at all? Like just to kind of like work through some of that?
I think it will be. Because again, I haven't really seeked out any, and I really should seek out therapy for all this shit, but I haven't. So that's what I'm hoping. It'll be somewhat cathartic. But anyways, but yeah, so topics I plan to cover: sunscreen. What kinds of sunscreen should you use?
I know you've told me.
What's the difference between?
I'm like, I have no idea.
What's the difference between chemical and natural sunscreen? UV clothing, does it actually work? What should you look for, right? I'll talk about family history and how that plays into your risk of skin cancer, and use myself as a prime example, because walking billboard right here for the effects of family history. And then there's also stuff that we don't think about, right? Like there's photosensitivity, right? Your photos, you're like photosensitive to the sun, and that can be caused by anything, including like even like birth control can make you photosensitive, which can up your risk of skin cancer. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, a chemotherapy.
And I bet a lot of people didn't, like, don't. So that's good to put that out there.
Yeah. So it's finding the right mix between personal, informational, that all, right? So so it's a work in progress, but it's coming along. So keep an ear out, and we'll re-promote it on here when it is official. Yes.
And it's also what you're comfortable putting out there, right? Because like this is your brand and your content and all of that. So you have to be comfortable what you're putting out there. So that's awesome. I'm glad you're doing it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what it becomes, if it becomes anything. And you know what, at the end of the day, as long as if it helps one person, awesome. Perfect. It was worth it, right?
That's all that matters.
Exactly. Anyway, so that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm just, chugging. So that's what I'm doing. So which, you know what, as long as we all keep on chugging, that's all that matters.
Exactly.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah. So guys, we have a new episode 47 is out. Check it out. available on all major streaming platforms. Follow us on Instagram at Saturday Night Convos at Saturday Night Convos. Yeah. If you need to get a hold of us, send us an email at saturdaynightconvos@gmail.com and rate us. Let us know your thoughts.
Yeah. I think you can find us on Google Podcast.
Oh, Google Play?
I think. On the
Cool.
Google Podcast. And then all of our other normal streaming networks, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible,
Stitcher,
Amazon. Stitcher needs to be updated still.
Okay.
I think. Maybe I updated it. I don't know. If you're listening to us right now on Stitcher, then obviously it was updated.
Let us know.
Yeah. But anyways, you can find us basically anywhere, and make sure you tell your friends about us. Tell the people you walk past or sit on the bus next to or eating across the table from about us. Share us, and as Ashley said, rate us and come back for more because you want to.
We'll be here.
We will be. Same place, same night. I like the thumbs up, Ashley.
I didn't mean to do that, but I did. And yeah, we will be here. Episode 50 is coming up. We are excited.
Yeah, this is episode 48. Episode
crazy.
48.
It is crazy. Yeah.
I feel like we need to have somebody on for episode 50, but I don't know who we would have on because it's really hard to get people on our podcast.
We will figure it out.
Yes. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. Yeah, we will talk to you again next week. And again,
bye, guys.
Go back and listen to our last episodes too, like our early ones. Like if you listen to like now and then you like go back to our very first one, you will see how far we've come.
True. You actually will.
You may even learn a little bit more about us because I think we share a bit of who we are back.
Yes.
Early ones too. So
yes, we do.
There you go. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.